This morning on DC News Now, a high-stakes election in Virginia. Details about today's primaries before you head to the polls. And cloudy skies with scattered showers and storms. Meteorologist Jackie Layer is tracking the latest. Investigating a hate crime in the district. A 13-year-old arrested after throwing a rock through a couple's window. Packing up the parade, what the roads look like this morning as cleanup from this past weekend's festivities continues. And later, Gator.
They're missing an alligator.
Yeah, there is actually an alligator outside of the hotel.
How police dealt with an unexpected guest at a Fairfax County motel.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning and thanks for starting your Tuesday with us here on DC News Now. I'm Tanaya Wright.
And good morning. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. I'll be tracking your roads. We already have delays out there, only 6 o'clock. So it is going to be a busy Tuesday morning out there in the roadways. How about the weather with meteorologist Jackie Layer?
Yeah, weather is not helping with those roadways this morning. Yeah, we have more wet weather and also very low visibility for parts of the region thanks to some patchy dense fog. Down about 3 miles in DC, 2 in Manassas, down about 1 mile over towards Leesburg. Also dealing with that very low visibility out towards Woodstock, Kaiser 2, and down about 2 miles in Cumberland. We continue to see that reduction in visibility in Hagerstown. We're now down about 5 miles in that area. The radar is still showing steady rain, mainly across our southernmost areas down towards Fredericksburg and now crossing over towards southern Maryland at this point. We have more rain and thunderstorm activity on the way for later on this afternoon and evening, so heads up. We could contain some downpours of some of those storms, and that's why a flood watch has been issued. That goes into effect at 11 o'clock this morning. That will hold till 10 p.m. this evening. That's for areas west of DC. So Northern Virginia back over towards the I-81 corridor, the mountains region as well included in this. I'll have more details on this and looking towards the rest of that 7-day coming up. But Shanika's back with the on-board look at those roadways at this 6 o'clock hour. How's it looking?
All right, so we're checking out the Capitol Beltway. Take a look at this. You could just barely see the roadways there. Roadways are slick right now. You are dealing with low visibility as well with that fog, and just take it easy this morning. This is the Capitol Beltway right near 29 through Silver Spring, and you are seeing how slow it is, especially on the outer loop. Here's Prince George's County. You're looking good on the inner and outer loop right near 50. Yesterday, be careful in that area because yesterday we did see high standing waters. I know we probably had more rain. Jackie could probably tell you more of that. But in Bethesda, outer loop 355, we had a crash there and it doesn't look like it's too bad. You might see just a bit of a delay there. Tap on your brakes. On 395, you're looking okay. But again, I can't stress this enough. Just take it easy this morning. DC 295 heading southbound past Pennsylvania Avenue. There's a crash there. And voters across Virginia are heading to the polls today for the Democratic primaries for 2 key races.
Yeah, early voting numbers are already breaking records. Our Yamari Sase live in Fairfax with what you need to know. Yamari, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, it is 6 a.m. and the polls are officially open for the Democratic primaries right here in the state of Virginia. Now, during early voting, they did see about 200,000 people actually come out and cast their ballots for the Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General Democratic nominee. And this is a very active election here in the state of Virginia. Now, again, as I mentioned, those two are the candidates. Those are the 2 races that are taking place right now in Virginia, the Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General. Those are the hot topics, and there are about 6 candidates running for Lieutenant Governor looking to represent the Democrats to face Republican candidate John Reed, which includes former Richmond Mayor LeVar Stoney, Prince William County School Board Chair Babur Lateef, State Attorney Aaron Rouse, former federal prosecutor and Georgetown University law professor Victor Salgado, State Senator Ghazala Hashmi, and Alexander Bastani. Now, for the Democratic nomination for Attorney General, it's about a 2-way contest between former Delegate Jay Jones and Henrico Commonwealth's attorney Shannon Taylor. Now, if you didn't vote during early voting if you didn't to get a chance to do that during early voting, you definitely have. Today is your last chance. Polls close about 7 p.m. today to come out and vote in person, and be sure to bring your ID. Now, we are going to watch this race extremely closely, so you definitely want to stick with us on DC News Now for the latest, and you can actually visit our website as well to find your closest polling location. For now, reporting live in Fairfax, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
All right, Yamari, thank you for that update. And developing now, police say the man accused of shooting 2 Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses plan to carry out more shootings. 57-year-old Vance Belter faces several state and federal charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, as well as stalking charges. He could also face the death penalty. Investigators say Belter disguised himself as a policeman and went to the homes of the 2 lawmakers, killing former Democratic House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. The other couple survived. The FBI says the same night Belter showed up at the home of 2 other lawmakers, but they were not home. Police say the largest manhunt in state's history led to Belter's capture on Sunday. And a memorial is growing at the Minnesota State Capitol. Flowers, candles, and handwritten notes now line the steps in front of it. People coming to pay their respects and take a moment to stand in silence to remember the state lawmaker and her husband who were killed.
And meantime, an Arlington County board member sharing on social media 2 recent threats that she received. Maureen Coffey, the youngest elected board member in Arlington history, shared threats she received publicly. She says threats of violence against lawmakers are not isolated to national politics, and solving this problem requires a massive change in how people talk about, joke about, and debate politics.
If you feel like it's somehow acceptable to threaten a member of Congress, how is it that different to send a message to one of your local elected officials or your state lawmakers? If we treat what happened in Minnesota as a one-off, I think we're going to be missing a bigger problem within our country right now.
A recent report shows threats against Congress rose for a 3rd straight year, and threats towards local officials spiked last November as elections were held across the country.
And developing now, President Trump posting on social media that all 9 million people who live in Iran's capital city need to evacuate now. This post coming as Iran and Israel continue to trade strikes. Around 200 Iranians have been killed, along with about 20 Israelis from these strikes. This all starting when Israel struck Iran in an attack Friday. Israel says the attack was to stop the country from establishing a nuclear bomb. Trump also firmly coming out against Iran having any nuclear capabilities, and he says these strikes may not have happened if Iran made a deal when it had a chance.
To talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days, and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day, I said, we don't have a deal. Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
Trump left the G7 summit early last night to help deal with the situation. He also joined other world leaders there to call for de-escalation in the conflict, including a ceasefire in Gaza. And Virginia Senator Tim Kaine also working to prevent American involvement in the conflict between Israel and Iran. He says he's worried the U.S. could be pulled into a war at any moment. Kaine is calling for there to be a congressional debate and vote before any American soldiers are sent to Iran. He says, quote, the American people have no interest in sending service members to fight another forever war in the Middle East. The senator's plan would not prevent the U.S. from defending itself from an attack.
And in the district, the cleanup continues after this past weekend's military parade and festival. On Monday, crews seen taking down barriers and reopening the roadways. Mayor Bowser says the work is expected to take several days. The mayor says there's no road damage to report, which was a concern heading into the event, but that her team is still evaluating.
We are following all of the movements from getting to the parade route to staging. If we have to make any repairs related to it, we would submit as part of the reimbursement process that we do for national special security events.
And if the repairs do need to be made, the district will submit it as a reimbursement to the federal government. And the city temporarily shortening hours for the D.C. streetcar service along the H Street corridor. From now through June 28th, the service will end at 10 p.m. daily. The district says this will allow overnight Pepco construction to begin earlier. Regular operating hours will return once construction project is complete.
And a Metro alert for Thursday, which is Juneteenth. WMATA says there are some important changes to look out for. Metro Rail will be on a Saturday schedule, but you'll pay a normal weekday fare. Stations will open at 5 a.m. and close at midnight. There will be free parking at all Metro garages and parking lots. Metro buses will be on a Saturday supplemental schedule. You'll have more bus service than a typical weekend, and you'll be paying a regular fare. And in Northern Virginia, the Fairfax County Connector bus will operate on a holiday weekend schedule. Also in Maryland, Montgomery County's Ride-On Orange Route bus will run on a weekend holiday schedule and the Blue Line will not be in service. 6:09 this morning, police got a jaw-dropping surprise at a Fairfax County motel when a guest got a little snappy.
Yes, it did. A very large alligator seen waddling down the hall overnight. Our Dave Lavelle has more on how this cold-blooded reptile became the hot topic in Northern Virginia.
People thought our story was a crock until we showed them the video of what happened at this motel. They didn't shed any tears, or should I say, crocodile tears.
Oh Lord, he's just sitting there.
Sean Hairston gets his first look at what stayed at the Travelers Motel, a 6-foot alligator.
Lord Jesus, that's crazy.
Fairfax County Police got the call about the unusual guest just after midnight Monday.
That are missing an alligator.
That's exactly what officers found when they arrived.
Yeah, there is actually an alligator outside of the hotel.
That's crazy.
Madison Kelmel has seen quite a few things growing up in the area, but nothing like this.
I don't expect to see alligators in motels, especially around this area.
Police determined the gator was on its way to a North Carolina zoo from New York when its owner decided to get a room for the night.
You said its mouth is bound up?
Yes, ma'am. It's like taped up.
The gator took a late-night stroll and possibly looked for a snack. Police, though, took no chances.
I would bring your dog inside. There's an alligator over here.
A motel manager said he did not know about the gator. The owner did not respond to our request as to who allowed the animal to stay there. Meanwhile, Hairston found something positive about the ordeal.
Hey, at least they had something here protecting my car.
The gator violated Virginia state code since it's illegal to possess certain exotic animals not native to the Commonwealth. Police escorted the alligator and its owner out of the county. In other words, later, gator. In Huntington, Virginia, Dave Lavelle, DC News Now.
All right, coming up on 6:12 now on a Tuesday, checking tourism at some of the world's top travel locations.
Yeah, why some locals are fed up with the ever-increasing number of visitors. Also ahead, helping local moms in this week's DMV Doer. We'll introduce you to a midwife hoping to give more Black families birth options at home.
But first, we're taking a live look outside this morning. Jackie, it is a foggy start to the day.
Yeah, tough to see out there right now. Patchy dense fog across much of the area this morning, so exercise caution on your travels. Take it slow. And then later on today, we're tracking more wet weather. We're talking scattered showers and thunderstorms. So there's a flood watch that has been issued, so I'll go over all those details. We'll get towards the rest of that 7 day. All right after the break.